Michael Mann is one of my favorite directors ever, and his urban crime dramas like Heat and Collateral are classics to me. However, despite his experience in the drama, it is kind of odd how he dropped the ball with the retelling of John Dillinger. My name is Jeremy, and I host Listening to the Movies on 101.7 Civil Radio, or on www.civl.ca. I play classic hits from great film soundtracks, and after having an amazing second Disney month, it's time I returned to other film soundtracks and I decided to play Public Enemies. Public Enemies is about the final years of John Dillinger and his rise to fame and his ultimate downfall. Johnny Depp takes on the character with a great sense of depth and emotionality. He was honestly a great choice for the character. While he won't be really remembered for the role, I truly believe he was the best part of this movie. After a botched breakout of Dillinger's friends, he goes to Chicago and meets Billy, a local girl played by Marion Cotillard. They develop an unorthodox relationship, but their bond breaks the molds of who they are, and while together they forget the worries they have and the fears that the cops that find Dillinger and kill him. All the while, Melvin Purvis, played by Christian Bale, is tasked by the head of the Bureau of Investigation, J. Edgar Hoover, to find John Dillinger. Bale plays Purvis as a man fighting against his own anxiety of taking on such a daunting task, with a boss that is pushing him beyond his limited resources. While he hunts for Dillinger, he also encounters other famous criminals of the time like Babyface Nelson and Pretty Boy Floyd. Mann's films have had great story and characters, but it seems that with a story about a figure of history, he tries to compensate for scenes that he thought weren't as interesting. Which is really odd because he tried to keep everything as real as possible with The Insider, as I remember. But the changes in history like the death of Babyface Nelson and Pretty Boy Floyd are just odd, considering he was saying this was going to be a realistic interpretation of the famous John Dillinger. I really felt gypped after I found out how historically inaccurate this film was. I feel that he never had to change things. Instead, he could have just kept the story true and just focused more on the other characters that were given very little introductions, as well as the whole aspect of Dillinger helping make the FBI. Since he was moving across the United States and being public enemy number one, he helped enforce Hoover's idea of a nationwide police force, which in turn hurt a lot of the gang operations across America, including the wire racket. Along with some odd audio issues and a strange use of handheld cameras, I feel this film could have been much better. The use of handheld was great in Collateral, but it didn't really work for Public Enemies because of the age and time and style of how the majority of the movie was. The switch back and forth was really odd and pretty inconsistent. The soundtrack, however, is a very good listen for a fan of bluegrass and jazz. Supporting lots of Billie Holiday and Otis Taylor, the music is smooth listening. Along with a cameo and song from Canadian artist Diana Krall, it is a well-balanced soundtrack. Score pieces by Mann's buddy Elliot Goldenthal are also really good, especially the music during the final moments of Dillinger as he leaves the theater. While it did have a great cast, Public Enemy suffered from a weak story structure and historical errors. Possibly since the writer's strike was going on, that could have contributed to the film's issues. Either way, this is one of those movies that you know could have been better if there was more time spent with the production and the pre-production. If you want to listen to the recording of the show, click the first link in the description. If you want to check out what I'm going to play next, click the second link for the Facebook page. Thanks for watching, guys.